Testing, testing. Hair's looking good. Here we go. Here we go. Right, so what I'm doing here is, because this is a freestanding unit here, it's got no attachments to anything, I'm going to put some timbers between here and here to brace it, and then it also means that the dishwasher's in the exact right spot then. So I've cut two pieces of timber at 600, and yeah, there we have two pieces of batten, 600mm long, to go in here and about here. But first of all, we've got to line the fronts of these up and make sure that they're sitting true, which they are not. Lovely. That is where you want them. This dishwasher is leaning forward too much, so I've got to level it up with a slot screwdriver in the front, which is in here. And then so up, down at the back. So what do I want it to do? I want it to come up at the front, ideally. So what I'll do is put something under that and spin these little legs down, which are always a pain in the backside to get going for some reason. And get a spanner on them once you get to a certain point. Got my spanner, and then wind them down. Well, I'll bring the back up a little bit as well, because it'll be a better height then. Lovely. Right, fix the battens in, then screw this into the sides of the carcass, the two carcasses, and then I might put a couple of fixings in the feet on the far end just to make it all nice and stable. But the worktop generally stables it up anyway, so yeah. I'll just give it, before I screw the legs down on the end carcass, I'll give it one last check over with the laser. What you do is you get your datum from one of the points in the room, and then you mark it on a block of timber. See this line here? So when the laser lines up with that, you know that it's the right height. That is pretty good. And so is that. So is that. So is that. So is that, and not do. So now put fixing down one of these legs, or both legs. Just for some extra rigidity. I'm going to fit all the wall units up there, and you generally base the bottom of the lowest part of this setup 500 from the worktop, which we have got the worktop on, so I know the worktop's 30mm. I'm just telling it the music down. So I go 530 up, then I measure up to the bottom of these brackets under here, and that's where I know where to put all my fixings on the wall. But I don't even see there's a pillar here, so I've got to notch out and box in that pillar in the corner unit. But yeah, it should be good fun. And this is a Crown Imperial handleless kitchen as well, by the way. It's probably important. Right, I'll get this marked out and then right, I've marked all the brackets out to the centre line of the hole, so I can drill them up, fix them up, and then hook the units onto them. And I don't know what's behind this wall because I didn't prep it, but I'm hoping it's something solid. That's a nice fixing. Oh, lovely. I'll just drill all these and then I'll film again. Right, I've got all the brackets on the wall. This side are all really good fixings, that side not as good, but I've got a fast setting grab adhesive in the hole, and it fills the hole for the screw, so it sort of doesn't move once it's set. But I'd normally put the middle one up first, but because of this bracket I'm going to just start with this one. And that gives me something to work to, because I've got a cut out for this, box this in, you know. So that is where it needs to be. Check it's plumb. It's way off. So it's going to come up. Let's take a measure. It's going to come up this side a little bit. Corner unit. I've got to take out 250mm from this way and 310 from the other way, and keep the pieces and then flip them around and make the boxing, which is harder to explain than to show really. But right, as you can see, I have made this boxing here, which so I'll plonk it up there. I'll take it back down again to mark for a bracket. And that lot there is all the lighting for up the top. Is it Extractor, is it? Yeah, Extractor. So right, you can see here, I put a bracket, and here I put a bracket, and they are the right distance off the wall for where I want the cabinet to sit in place. So system for an extractor. It's just got a little cover strip, so you just screw the thing up. There's no messing around with bolts and like compression sort of fittings, or what you call them, like clamps. These are just screwed up and then you stick the cover over it and done. Piece of piss. I'll do a bit of thinking here. I can think out loud, I suppose. This backboard is in the way of where this comes in, where the extractor is going to go. So I've got to sort of cut the shape of the extractor like this sort of shape into the back of the unit, otherwise it won't go in. That's the front, yeah. Alright, that's alright then. Literally. I have put in the extractor, which actually was really easy to put in. I haven't got this fitting to connect it up yet, and the power's not in. I've just got to true this up and screw it to this one. Same with this, and then I've got to start this cabinet, which is going to stick out a bit further, and it's a bigger unit to cover the boiler. I'm sure it's going to be fun, that. Great fun. The major mistake I made today was not realising that these have got to have end panels, which are like they're like the same colour as the door, so it all looks like a solid thing. And because I've forgotten that, I haven't done the spacing right, because these two need to go that way, so it means I've got to recut that around there so I can shove it up 20mm. Put an end panel on here, put an end panel on there. And same on this side, and so basically it's a complete waste of time, the whole day. Nah, it's all good. Oh well, I'll switch off and come back on when I've got something to show. Right, I'm fitting this pelmet, Cornice. That's a pelmet. So yeah, the Cornice up here, which is like a fillet piece, and this here is the length that's going in there, but you can't get a long enough piece, so you got to put a join in. And I don't know if you can see it there. There it is, the join. You don't want a big black line there, so you got to try and figure out a way of getting rid of that, which is a bit of a battle. But what you do is you use this stuff, colour fill, and you overload it. Where's the actual camera on this bloody thing? There you go. Overload the thing, the join. Like that. And then when it sets a little bit, you give it a little bit of a clean off, and then hopefully it should look lovely. Right, it's sort of dried, a little bit tacky. See whether I can get this bloody camera down. Yeah, so you scrape it like that, off on the diagonal, and that's pretty good. Make sure you're happy with it, which I am. This little edge here, get that. And then you get this, which is acetone. You should really get a clean rag, which I don't think I am. Right, attempt number 2, which will go up. Even if I have to use a hammer, it will go up. Right, with this corner one, these are the holes for the hinges, and as you can see they're not going to line up because of this backboard. So I've got to cut a hole in here, so that will go into it, and then screw that in before I click the hinge on, then screw the door onto the hinge whilst it's in place. Sounds complicated, but it's not. back here. Lovely. First of all, we've got to screw these little things onto the back of the drawer fronts, and then you've got these little cap things here go in here for these rods to go on. So I'll screw this lot on and then I'll show you the next bit. Right, I've screwed all them bits on to the back of the drawer, and then what I do is just click the drawer in like that. Then you get these bits, these bars, and they support the top of the drawer front. You just push them in there, like so. And click them onto the back bit. Check the drawer shuts properly. See this gap? A bit open up at the bottom. So you just wind this, and that opens the top out. And that is lovely. Right. Now, with this particular type of kitchen, you can put the side bits on. Which go on like did I put them that way around on that one? Yeah. Right. And there you have it, one complete drawer, but you got to get this gap right, so it's got to go over that way about a mil or two, and it's got to come down a fraction as well, the drawer has, and that's all to do with these adjustment screws around here. underlay here called Wisteria. It's like two thin 4mm bits of ply, like with a glue between them, so it creates like a raft. And for some reason it holds the floor together well, because the floor is like a click flooring. What I'm doing here is marking out the floor to make sure it's square to the room, the flooring. So I just put lines down the room. There's something to work off of, so by the time I get to the other end I don't have a wedge-shaped board, or the minimal wedge-shaped board you can get if it has to be. So yeah, just put a couple of lines, something to work off of when I'm laying the flooring. I've marked out all the flooring on the Wisteria, the underfloor stuff, and I put all these lines down. So all my joins on my boards, because the boards are running that way, all the joins will be in a line when you look down them. Sort of, you know, they look nice and neat. Going from the centre of the door as well, just so it's got a reference, you know. Lovely. I'll start laying the flooring now, so So here's the finished article. It's a Crown Imperial kitchen, which I finished a couple of weeks ago, but just had all the splashback done, which looks absolutely lovely. And I'll just come to finish. I just put a corner unit in here, one of these things that I put in the other side as well. Pretty nifty. That thing there, that radiator, weighs an absolute ton. I had to put reinforcing blocks into the wall, the whole depth of the block work, because it was only thermalite block, and so it was MDF, like a big square of MDF that I've crammed in there with wedges and glue, and then fixed into that. And yeah, because it was an absolute, it weighed a ton, and it was just would have fallen off the wall in no time. But yeah, all the kicker lights and the underworked under counter lights. It's got lights underneath the Ujima flip there, the bloody wall units. I can't even bloody speak. And yeah, it's finished pretty much. Well, it's finished. Lovely. Happy days.